too fast to start the case with the force training group. Alright, one thing I want to touch on tonight is edged weapon deployment. Edged weapon deployment. A lot of people, and I actually see this a lot, alright, we see the tactical folder and it's dangling on a pocket, and people really have whatever, my friends or whatever, I talk to them and say, hey, can you get your knife out? And you see, yeah. Like, seriously? That can you take your knife out quickly? We've all seen that, okay? These things right here, the tactical folder, as some call them, it may as well be like tactical man jewelry. I know a lot of people that carry them and have no earthly idea how to use them. Alright? Knives are just like any other tool. If you don't train with them, you're not going to be able to use them effectively. Alright? So, basically what I'm going to cover is I'm going to cover, obviously, fixed blade doesn't need anything. Grab it, yank it, after you deactivate any retention measures on the sheath. Pretty simple. Pretty simple on those. We're going to talk about folders. I'm not a fan of autos because they're easy to get prosecuted for. And no, this isn't an auto. This is a Benchmade Axis, and I'll play with it a little bit with using the Axis a lot. I don't even like assisted knives, to be honest with you. Have I owned them? Yeah, there's nothing really wrong with them. But when you learn the tricks, when you learn how to actually work with it and you train with it, you can get a deployment on a folding knife. Matter of fact, I'll show you a specific type of folding knife that's faster here in a little bit. This right here is Benchmade 615 Mini Ruckus. I love this little knife. I've had it for about 5 years now. Maybe, well, 4 years, a little bit over 4 years. But, it carries really deep in the pocket. Not the best self-defense knife in the world, but it's better than nothing. So, when we're dealing with a knife with a thumb stud, such as this, the Emersons that don't have the wave, which we'll talk about the wave in a minute, have the little disc, and we know that Spydercos have the hole. So we're going to talk about the thumb stud or thumb hole because they deploy the same way, and the wave. First thing is the stud. When you go to draw a knife with the stud or any folding knife, it's not going to open. It doesn't have some form of remote opener like the wave. Alright, hook your finger in the pocket, draw it back till you run into your blade. Crimp your finger and press against it. Now you should start to get something coming up. Let your fingers fall, roll the knife, your thumb should find the stud. Continue flipping your wrist, okay? Very simple. Okay? Find it, retract it, flick it, and you come back in your fighting position. Which that would be whatever kind of grip you wind up in. Obviously this right here is set up for a saber grip. Most folding knives are set up to be drawn that way. Obviously once I get it open, I can go into whatever grip I want, which the grip on this knife is actually best suited for a saber grip, because it's not really meant to be a fighting blade. So again, find your pocket. Right? Notice this hand comes up. Okay? You can be doing any number of things out here: striking, blocking, covering, whatever. Just touch your chest if you're training, if you want to. Just get used to bringing that hand up. Find your pocket. Even if you have to stick your thumb in there after, pull your hand straight back. Get your grip as it comes up. Find your stud. Flick it over, and you're ready to roll. If your knife has a hole, alright, and I'm flipping this around, this does have a wave, alright, so I'm being careful. You would draw it up the same way, find the hole, and go from there. Now, if some knives are capable of this, some aren't. It's what's called an inertial opening. Alright, I flip this knife because when I use an inertial opening, I use it for a reverse grip. Alright, and you kind of have to put some MAN on the end of it. Alright, now, when you draw the blade out, alright, you can hit your stud and give it a flick of the wrist. Going sideways or going up to get your blade open. Alright, and this is not an assisted knife. This is not an assisted knife at all. Okay, and it opens almost as fast as any assisted blade out there, especially with an inertial opening. Okay? Where I like inertial openings are if I'm carrying a knife such as my Spyderco. You notice I've got it edge out. Give it a snap and it pops right open. Alright, all I did, horizontal, vertical. There's my grip. Okay? You should be able to do an inertial opening or a stud motion. Basically, you're drawing a C. All right, I know my stud goes along that path. Okay, so I take my thumb and I push it out in that C motion. Okay, I don't just push it straight forward. Does that work? Yes. I flick it out in the same arcing motion. It's a bit more positive. If I'm following that blade, it has no choice but to go open. Okay, push it up and out. All right, now that can be used. I've drawn the blade. Now I've got it. By doing that, because I have to let go of my grip anyway to stay clear of that blade. By doing that, now I've got a saber grip with the edge in, maybe for a thrusting motion into the belly. Okay? Big thing. Big thing. Find the pocket, find the blade. Lift it up, bring it up. You can do it up here by your ribs. Some guys do it down my hip. I'm liable to do either one. All right? Find the blade, pull it up, flick it open, go to work. All right? If you're carrying it for a reverse grip, which I'm not using my pocket clip this time, so I'll put it in my change pocket. Bring it straight up, straight down. Go to work. Okay? That is for a thumb stud or thumb hold knife that doesn't have any form of remote opening feature and doesn't have some fancy doohickey button. I can't demonstrate a fancy doohickey button because, well, I don't own a knife with a fancy doohickey button. Can you use the axis lock? Yeah. If you're using the axis lock on a knife that has one, all right, it's this little lever right here. Okay? Pretty simple. You pull that back and it's on either side. But you just pull that back and the blade pops right out. This one needs to be clean, so it's kind of finicky. But you just pull it back and you can open the blade window up. Just make sure you flick it back. Don't try to hold it back because you get that. Alright, flick it. Alright, this knife was really tight when I first got it, so that's how I had to open it. And then the thumb stud eventually got to where it broke in. You can open it with a locking mechanism if applicable. Of course, you can open it with the stud, or you can open it inertial, or you can flick it. Use your thumb stud and get a little inertial on there. You can just snap it, no fingers on the thumb studs, and you snap it going up to get an inertial that way. I'm not a fan of this. Number one, it's not very easy for me to do it, and number two, I might fling my knife backwards, whereas I have no problem doing it underhanded because it's just a little motion, and you see that blade locked up securely. Okay, just a little motion. Plus, I can get my thumb in here on that pocket clip, and it gives me a better grip. All right. So thumb stud, trace the C. Same thing with a finger hole or a disc or whatever. Can you use an axis lock? Flick it back? Yes, you can. Inertial, pop it down, pop it around, pop it up. All right. Whatever floats your boat. If you have an auto, learn your auto. Some of the Benchmade autos, the axis lock here is the release. Some have a push button, some have a switch that goes backward or forward. I'm not covering volley songs, even though I like volley songs. Volley songs are illegal in a lot of places. I don't own a volley song right now. That is soon to be changed. With the wave, okay, which what that wave is that little hook right there, okay? Well, what that does is that actually hooks on my pocket. Okay, I'll do it up here on my hoodie pocket, might be a little easier to see, and snaps the blade open, okay? Now, if you're carrying it, and this is the way this knife is set up, of course you can move pocket clips, whatever. It's a Spyderco waved Enduro. The pocket clip on it broke, and I just made my own pocket clip out of Kydex, okay? You can pull it back into the pocket, straight up, and it pops right open. Just like that. Now the Emersons are made either right-handed or left-handed with a liner lock. I like Emerson knives. I like them a lot, actually. But they pop right open for you. I carry my waved Enduro on my offside. Why? When it pops open, I've got the edge out. Why would that be important? If I'm carrying a weapon on my right side and I go into retention mode, when I trap somebody's hand on my weapon, bang. So I don't get a perfect lock. Well, when I hit their wrist, I will get a perfect lock. Bang. Okay? So, now for that I would push it forward. Either way, you push it into your pocket and snap it right up. If you don't get a good one, which that's kind of hard not to, so I'm going to intentionally set myself up to fail here. Okay. I didn't get a good one. Snap it down. When I draw this blade, whether I get a good lock or not, I actually give it a little snap. Why? Because if I don't get it, there it went. Okay? So train with your knives. Alright? Again, find the pocket, find the blade, go whatever direction you need to. If you're using a lathe, push it toward it to the front if you want your edge out. Pull it to the rear if you're cutting it with your edge facing down. If you're using a thumb stud or hole or disc equipped knife, find the pocket, pull it back, draw straight up, and activate your blade. You can push the thumb stud or disc over, take it back down to a saber grip, or you can flip your grip and go in here. If you're using an auto, obviously the same thing applies. Draw it however, push your button, hit your latch, whatever the case may be. Body songs are a whole different ball of worms. When I get into the body song, I'll make a video on those for those who want to know. Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Stay in the fight, stay frosty.